Hello everyone, I'm Rob Kimball of 5680 Vineyards. Thought I'd just share with you a little bit of what goes on with 5680. I'm asked quite often, what makes Colorado wine different or special? And why 5680? And I think those two things have a lot in common. We are in the West Elks, which is the highest AVA, the highest growing conditions in the United States. We're standing in a vineyard right now that's almost exactly 5,680 feet above sea level. And I think that plays the biggest role in our wines here and our grapes. These grapes have great fresh air, fresh water, and high UV sunlight, which really changes things as far as grapes are concerned. A lot of times our sugars will come up, our acidity stays intact. We've got those cold nights and those warm days. That temperature swing really does different things to the grapes than anywhere else. The other thing that makes it very different here are the vines themselves. They are certainly out of their comfort zone. They are used to lounging around in nice warm conditions in California or Europe or somewhere, and then we've taken them and put them in pretty harsh conditions. This vineyard we're standing in right now was planted in 1998, and it's still going strong, but it's gone through a lot of struggles over the years. Sometimes, depending on what happens in the winter especially, we might see 3.5, 4 ton per acre of grapes. Other years, maybe a ton. So what happens with the wine is directly related to the grapes and the vines. What I do in the winery, I try to keep it the same every year. That way when we have conversation about the wine, it's more conversation about the weather. It's about the climate. You know, this year, why did you like this wine better than last year? Well, this year it was very cold winter. The yields were way down. This was a very dry summer. This is a very wet summer. All that plays a dramatic role on how the final wine comes out. In the winery, I try to keep things the same. The Chardonnay is brought in pressed. I let it settle out for about 36 hours and then put the juice in barrel. So everything is both fermented and aged in oak. But the thing to remember for my wine is they're all neutral barrels. I don't want to mask the wine with oak. But I do like what the barrel does as far as breathability. You know, just making the wine the same every year is the goal. Doing the same process every year. So basically 36 hours it settles out. I put the wine in barrel, or the juice in barrel, and the barrels being older have everything they need in the wood to make it happen. So I don't worry about adding yeast. I don't add any bacteria for malolactic fermentation. The barrels take care of all that for me. The wine is topped every 2 weeks, topped and stirred. The lees are stirred up every 2 weeks, and the barrels are topped. Usually they stay in about 10 months. The wine stays in about 10 months. Then it's bottled, and that's as simple as it is. So every year when we have a conversation about wine, it's probably, again, going to be a conversation about the weather and about our climate. Thanks for your time. Thanks for supporting the Blue Sage and Colorado wine.